Good morning, everyone. So I have been trying to do this live for a couple of days now, and I keep running into technical issues, but I'm hoping that today we can finally do this because this is a topic that I really want to talk to you guys about because I didn't realize how important it is until recently, and I think it's something that we should be talking about more. Also, I don't see a lot of information on this on the internet or videos or anything like that, which told me even more, all right, you know what? It needs to be talked about. So before anything, before I start, can someone please tell me and let me know that you can see me and that you can hear me, because I've had too many issues with this before. Okay, so please let me know if you can see me and hear me, and we're gonna get started. Now, I want you guys to sit back and really listen to this live today because there's a lot we're going to cover, okay? So someone's saying the screen keeps going blank. Are you still having that? Can you guys still see me? It's okay now. All right, we're gonna try to get through this. I'll try to speak a little bit more slow so that we don't miss anything. Now, this is gonna be a long live, okay? As I said, because there's a lot that I need to talk about when it comes to people that speak two different languages, accents, all of this stuff, okay? So we're covering the 3 ways to speak more during meetings if you are bilingual. Now, before I continue, before anything, I do want to let you know that I am hosting a masterclass very soon. So I'd love for you to go to speakatwork.com and sign up if you are someone that is interested in overcoming your fear of public speaking, if you want to learn what to say, how to say it, get better at impromptu speaking, so that all of this together helps you get promoted faster in the ways, then you won't want to miss this one. All right, all you have to do is go to speakatwork.com. And if you are joining me live, do say live in the chat box. If you are watching the recorded version, say recorded in the chat box so that I know when you are joining me. So let's talk about this for a second, okay? And I want to say something to you before anything. I want to ask you, first of all, are you someone that speaks 2 languages, maybe 3 languages? Are you bilingual or trilingual? If you are, let me know what languages you speak. I personally speak Urdu. That was the first language that was taught to me. I also speak English, and I speak a little bit of French because I grew up in Canada. And when I first came to Canada, I lived in Montreal, so that was the first language that I learned apart from Urdu. And I'm very happy and proud that I speak another language. I speak Urdu very well, and my mom is probably watching this. So Mama, थैंक यू सो मच कि आपने मुझे उर्दू सिखाई है, क्योंकि मुझे उर्दू बहुत पसंद है और मैं चाहती हूँ कि मैं कभी ना भूलूँ. So thank you so much, Mom. And I'm just letting my mom know, and she watches all my lives. Thank you, Mom, for teaching me this language. It's a beautiful language. I want us to now start embracing the fact that we speak more than 1 languages, right? I have so many people that come to me and say, can you teach me English? I'm a public speaking coach. I don't teach people English, but I have lots of people that come to me and say, can you teach me English? I have a lot of people that come to me and ask me, hey, can you help me get rid of my accent? We're going to talk about accents today as well. So first of all, being bilingual changes the architecture of your brain. Did you guys know that? Crazy, right? What ends up happening is that when you know 2 languages, it could be a little bit problematic too, because you have to switch between one language or the other, and it's literally competing. They're competing against each other to see which one is going to come out, right? That's not easy. That's not easy, especially when you're under pressure, you're in front of an audience, and you have to really do well. Now those 2 languages are competing, and you might be better at one or the other, right? I'm a prime example of how you can be good at both. I speak excellent Urdu and I speak fairly, really good English, right? There are many benefits to speaking more than 1 language. First of all, it increases your brain power, right? How cool is that? There are also a lot of studies that show when you speak more than one language, you learn things a lot faster, okay? The other thing is you never know when you might need another language. You could be traveling, you could be in trouble, and the only person around might be speaking another language. It could save you, right? If you speak another language, it could also be very helpful. So the fact that you speak 2 languages, you should wear as a badge of honor. It's great to be able to speak more than one language. Now, the reason why I decided to talk about this today is because recently I had a client that came to me, and as I was working with her during my coaching calls, we were talking about fears. We were talking about where this fear is coming from. Why are you so afraid to speak up? Turns out that she had a really bad experience once. So when she was speaking up, giving a presentation, she has a very strong accent. One of the people that she was speaking to said, "Wait, what? I didn't understand that word. What did you say?" And that made her really subconscious, right? Like, oh no, I don't know what I did wrong here. And because of that, it affected the entire presentation, right? So just that one thing alone, right? That one little hiccup, that one thing of your audience asking you, "Wait, what did you say?" Like, I didn't understand it, right? It's going to affect the rest of your presentation. It's going to affect the rest of your flow. So she asked me, she's like, "Maria, how do I reduce my accent, or how do I get rid of the accent, or how do I sound more clear?" Right? Now, I want to tell you something that it makes me so mad when people think that they need to get rid of their accents. Why would you want to get rid of your accent? It's so unique to you. Your accent is you. You should never, ever, ever want to change your accent. It's you. It's so hard to pretend to be somebody else, right? Instead, you should focus on just being yourself and the best version of yourself. So when it comes to accents, I want to tell you guys something. So there was a research done in just 2018 at McGill University, and it showed that your accent did not matter as much as your tone. I know most of you guys that have accents, you think that it's your accent that's stopping you from connecting with your audience, or it's your accent that's holding you back from maybe getting the opportunities that you want. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. Your accent is not stopping you, or it's not holding you back from being an amazing speaker and from getting the opportunities that you're looking for, right? More than that, it's your tone that matters. Your tonality is much more important than your accent. Okay, so you might be wondering then, all right, so Maria, I have an accent, but why is it that people can't understand me, right? Why is it that people are still like, "Wait, what are you saying? I don't understand," or "That doesn't make sense"? Why, right? If my accent doesn't matter. Let me tell you, it's not because of your accent. It's actually because one of these following things, and I'm going to go over a list of a few things that might be the reason why people can't understand what you're saying. Okay. The first one is that you're speaking too fast. So most of you that speak a second language that is not English, the dialect is just much faster. So when you learn English, or when you start speaking in English, you bring that same rhythm, right, to English. You start speaking much faster. So you speak English very fast too, right? So depending on what language, what your first language is, or the second language is, depending on what that is, you might be someone that just naturally speaks very fast, okay? That might be a reason why people are not understanding you, okay? And because you're speaking fast, the second reason why people might not be able to understand you is because you're slurring or mumbling your words. So you're not speaking clear enough. That's another reason. It's not your accent. It's because you're slurring or you're mumbling your words. Another one could be that what you're saying is just disconnected, or it's just poorly organized. When you're speaking, there has to be some sort of structure. You can't just throw everything out there and hope for the best. It doesn't work that way, right? That's not what you want to do. You want to speak in a more organized way, right? Just like you write an essay. When you write an essay, you have your introduction, you have your point 1, point 2, point 3, you have your outro, right? There's a structure you follow when you speak. So that might be one of the reasons why people are not understanding you when you're speaking. It's not because of your accent, okay? Another reason that people might not understand what you are saying is because you yourself don't know what point you're trying to make. And that's understandable. When you're standing up in front of an audience and there's so many people looking at you, there are so many people, those eyes on you, and just that judgment, you're like, oh my God, right? You kind of get lost sometimes when you're speaking and you don't remember, hey, what was my point? What was I trying to say? So that might be a reason why people are not understanding you. The second thing, we're down to speaking too fast, slurring or mumbling, saying things that are disconnected, not knowing what the point is. And the fifth thing is that you're just not leaving enough time for people to absorb and dissect the information that you're giving them. What does that mean? When you're speaking, right, as a speaker, what you're trying to do is just get everything out, and this point and that point. You want to get your message across. You might have just a little bit of time and you want to make sure you say everything that you planned on saying, right? But the problem is that's a lot of information for people, right? That's a lot of information. People can only take in a certain amount of information at a time, all right? So if you're throwing all this stuff at them and they're still like, wait, what? It might be that you're just not giving them enough time to process the information, right? So for example, instead of saying, today we're gonna learn 10 ways to speak better, right? 10, that's a lot. If I'm going to talk about 10 things, I better make sure that it's spaced out. And I better make sure that after each one, I'm giving people time to absorb the information. Okay, so that is probably one of the reasons why people are not understanding you. Again, it's not because of your accent. And going back to the accent, so while I was doing some research, I was trying to see what studies have been done on accents, what internet videos there are, YouTube. And I was so sad to see that the only things that I could find was how to lose your accent, how to speak better English, how to pronounce words better, how to do this and how to do that. And there was nothing on the internet about accepting your accent, accepting that this is just part of how you speak. And honestly, that made me a little bit sad because I see it too. Like when people come to me, they're like, hey, can you help me get rid of my accent? I'm like, why? Why would you want to get rid of your accent? You do not need to get rid of your accent just for people to understand you. And when I ask them, why do you want to get rid of your accent? They say, well, so I sound more confident and so people understand me and so I get promoted. And I just think to myself, these things are not correlated, right? Your accent is not stopping you from getting those promotions, from giving great presentations, from delivering your message. Your accent has nothing to do with that. I just want you to remember that, okay? And I want you to embrace it as well, okay? Your accent, it's unique to you. You do not need to change it, all right? So if you have an accent, say accent in the chat box. I want you to celebrate it, right? If you have an accent, celebrate the fact that you have an accent. It just means that you speak another language and you are bilingual or you're trilingual, right? And I'm going to go over what you should do to make sure that people understand you. But before that, I want to check in with you guys and let me know how many of you speak more than one language, right? Or if you have an accent. If you have an accent, say accent. And by the way, if you are someone that is looking to get better at impromptu speaking, you want to be able to overcome your fear of public speaking, especially in the workplace, you are more introverted in nature, then I am hosting a live masterclass. It's absolutely free. And all you have to do to sign up is go to www.speakatwork.com. I only have a selected amount of seats. We start right on time. And I can only let in, unfortunately, 100 people at a time. So make sure you grab your seat and make sure you show up early, not on time, early, so that you can get in. So do sign up for my masterclass at www.speakatwork.com. If you have an accent, say accent. Someone's saying they can speak 4 languages. Okay, what are those 4 languages? That's awesome, right? That's amazing. I really want to be able to learn at least 1 more language. I do know French a little bit, not that well, but I want to first of all perfect my French and then possibly learn 1 more language. So let me know what languages you speak. And if you have an accent, say accent. Stop being embarrassed of it. Stop hiding it. If you have an accent, it doesn't matter. It's not going to hold you back from anything. It's your tonality, like we talked about. That's very, very important. Okay. Now let's talk about what are some things that you should do. If you are bilingual, if you could even be trilingual, and we have someone here that speaks 4 languages. If that is you, and you feel like people just don't understand you when you're speaking, and people are just like, wait, what? Right? And they point it out. They're like, you didn't pronounce that right. I don't understand what you mean. So what should you do instead? Right? Let's talk about that now. So there are a couple of things that you can do. And I want to go over the top 3 things that I see very often that's really holding you back from delivering your message. So the first thing that you need to start doing is you need to start speaking slower. People are not understanding you because you're going too fast. Speaking very fast, and there's so much you have to say, and I understand, right? It's too much for people. Slow it down. And typically, if you speak another language, right, every language has its own rhythm as well, right? So maybe the first language that you've learned or the first language that you speak, it's just a little bit faster, right? That's how naturally you speak that language. And now it's being transferred or translated over into when you're speaking English as well. So ask yourself, what is that first language that I speak? And how do I speak it? Do I speak it very fast? And then look at your English. When you're speaking English, are you speaking your English really fast as well, right? First things first, you need to slow down when you are speaking. There is a lot of power in that, and people don't understand that, okay? There's a lot of power in this. Now, the other thing is when you slow down, it also makes it easier for you to think of better answers and think of better, like organize your thoughts better, articulate your words better, articulate your thoughts better. So slowing down, if there's one thing that you've learned today, slow it down. The more you can slow down when you're speaking, the better it's going to be for you. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, what is the second thing that you should do, especially if you're in a meeting and you speak 2 languages and you want to make sure that you're contributing during this meeting? What should you do? The second thing that you should do is contribute earlier on in the meeting. Okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you're thinking something and you're like, wait, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And, I should really tell them about this. And then somebody else speaks and they say exactly what you were thinking. And now you're like, oh man, I wish I had said it earlier, right? Have you ever been in that position? I have. I used to be so quiet. I used to be thinking about all of these things. And then everyone else was saying what I was thinking. And I'm like, oh man, I should have said it, right? And then I'd go through the whole presentation without saying anything, right? So the second tip that I have for you, if you are bilingual and if you have an accent, if you're in a meeting, is to contribute early on in the meeting. Also, when you contribute early on in the meeting, it calms your nerves too. So you're more likely to speak a little bit more as well. Okay, that is very important. So contribute early in the meeting. It's going to reduce your self-doubt as well. Okay. The third thing that you need to start doing is you need to stop making it personal. Okay. Sometimes when you don't speak up during meetings or you speak up and somebody disagrees with you, stop taking it so personal. Okay. You yourself should be very proud of your ideas and believe what you're saying is helpful. If you feel like, no, this idea is stupid, it doesn't matter, or no one's going to think anything of this, or they're just going to laugh at me or judge me. If you feel that way, then that's exactly what's going to happen, right? So start being proud of your ideas, right? If you are thinking something and you feel like this might contribute to this meeting, it might not contribute to this meeting, I want you to still say it. Okay, sometimes a lot of the things that we think are just in our minds. And when you actually say it out loud, you'll realize, wow, people really relate to this, or my colleagues are also having this problem, right? But you're not going to know until you say it. And I, as an introvert, I live in my head all the time as well. Once I started speaking up, and once you start speaking up, you'll realize, you know what, there's a lot of other people that share similar ideas, that share similar values as you, right? So stop making things personal and start speaking up a little bit more. Start putting yourself out there a little bit more, because you'd be surprised sometimes at the feedback that you're going to get, right? And you're never going to know until you actually start speaking up. The more you speak up, the more experience you're going to get, the more comfortable you're going to get speaking, and the more you're going to participate in meetings. All right. So I want to do a quick recap of everything that we've talked about. And again, this topic, it's very near and dear to my heart. I speak more than one language. I speak Urdu and I speak English. And for me, like, I am so glad. And while growing up, my mom would not let me speak, me or my siblings, speak any other language at home. And me and my siblings, we'd be like, why? Why do we have to speak Urdu? Like, why? Right? And today I am so happy that she taught me Urdu, right? It's a beautiful language. I'm so happy to have known more than one language, because like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of benefits to knowing other languages, right? For example, it increases your brain power, right? You learn things much faster, and you never know when you might need another language, right? I was at I think I was like at it's a DMV, but for Canada. And I was there getting my license renewed at the time. And I remember going in there, and there was a man there, a much older man, right? He was Sikh, and he came in to also renew his license. He was missing some documents, and the poor man was trying to explain. He didn't speak English that well. He was trying to explain to the person helping him, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. And he was speaking in Hindi, right? Which is very similar to Urdu. So he was holding up the line, you know, people were starting to get frustrated. And I was looking at him and I felt so bad for him. I'm like, this poor guy, right? He's just trying to get his message across. It's not his fault that he doesn't speak English perfectly, right? It's much harder when you're older. It's like harder to learn a new language. So the lady, she was getting really frustrated because she didn't understand what he was saying. She said a whole bunch of things and he wasn't understanding what she was saying. So this was a time I was able to step in, and I asked him, you know, uncle, and we in Pakistani culture, we call every older person uncle and every older woman auntie. So I'm like, uncle, no, aap kya karna chahte hain? I asked him, and he's like, beta, मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि मेरा license renew हो जाए, ये she's telling me, hey, I'm trying to renew my license, but I can't because this is happening, that's happening. So I told the lady, I'm like, hey, this is what he's trying to do. Can you please help him? And right away, you know, the matter got resolved. And then the line started moving much faster. So you never know when the second language is going to come in handy, when you can help someone, right? Or whatnot, you never know. So it's very, very important. And you should wear that as a badge of honor that you speak another language, right? So that's a few of the benefits that we talked about. And then we also talked about how your accent does not affect the way that you are heard by other people, right? So you need to be able to fix your tone. And like I said, a study by McGill University in 2018 showed that your tone matters the most when it comes to speaking, not your accent. If you have an accent, embrace it, right? Please don't message me again. I don't want to hear any messages from people saying, can you help me reduce my accent? No, I'm not going to help you reduce your accent, because your accent is beautiful. Your accent is part of you. Your accent tells me that you speak another language, right? Embrace the fact that you have an accent, right? It does, and it's not holding you back from anything. I promise you that, right? You yourself and your limiting belief and you thinking that my accent is holding me back is what's going to hold you back. All right. Instead, focus on the things that I told you. We talked about 3 different things. And before I continue and do a recap of the 3 things that you should be doing to get your message heard, especially during meetings, I just want to remind you, I am hosting a live public speaking masterclass, especially for you if you are someone that's afraid of public speaking, you don't know what to say, how to say it, and you want to be able to get better at impromptu speaking. All you need to do is sign up at www.speakatwork.com. You can also go to my profile on LinkedIn and it's going to show you exactly how you can sign up. There is a direct link. Okay, so do sign up. Now, again, just quick recap. What are the 3 things that I talked about that you need to do to be able to be heard better at work, especially if you are bilingual? The first thing is slow it down, right? Slow it down. Yes, I know some of you guys are commenting on my Urdu. And you know what? If this was me a year ago, I would say I'm never going to speak in Urdu out loud. Like, what are people going to think? No, it's my mother tongue. It's the first thing that I learned. And honestly, I'm very proud of it. I'm so thankful that my mom taught me this language, because now I'm hoping to teach my kids that language and pass it on. It's a beautiful language, right? Every language has its uniqueness. Every language is so beautiful. Like, be proud of this, you guys. Be proud of it. The fact that you speak another language and that English might not be the language that you sound perfect in, right? Be proud of it and embrace those accents. And sorry, I know I'm getting sidetracked, but like I said, I'm very passionate about this because the more I'm working with some of my clients, the more I'm realizing, wow, this is a problem and we need to start embracing this a little bit more, right? So again, 3 things that you should be doing. You need to start speaking a little bit more slowly. And yes, I do speak Punjabi. My parents speak Punjabi, so I grew up watching them speak Punjabi, but I'm not as good at it as I am in Urdu. That's why I don't bring it up, because it's a little bit shaky. But second thing is contribute early in a meeting. Okay, do not wait for everybody else to speak, because some of the obvious things have already been said at that point. So make sure that you contribute early in a meeting. If you are bilingual, if you're afraid of not knowing what to say, right? And the last one, number 3, is to stop making it personal. If people are not understanding what you're saying and they say to you, wait, what was that? I don't understand because of your accent. First of all, if they're saying that to you, that looks bad on that person. It's themselves. But if somebody says that to you, be ready and ask them, what part? What word didn't make sense? Explain that word to them, but do it with confidence, because if you do it with confidence, now that other person is going to feel like, oh, maybe I should have listened more clearly, right? And here's the other thing. Anytime people contact me and say, oh, people don't understand me, and like if I'm on a call and they're speaking in their accent, I can understand you. If I can understand you, everybody else can understand you. If there's 1 or 2 words that are hard for you to pronounce, take your time speaking that word, right? Don't rush through. So if I can understand you, other people can understand you as well, okay? So I know I got a little emotional with this one, but like I said, it's something that has come up over and over again. And I just think that we need to stop thinking that we have to change our accents or we have to, hide the fact that we speak another language. Be proud of it, please. Be proud of the fact that you speak another language and be proud of the fact that you have another accent. Embrace it. Okay. So thank you so much, you guys. Very happy that I got this live done. I've been wanting to do this, and because of technical issues I've been having the past few days, I wasn't able to. But if this resonated with you, please let me know. And if you want to see more content like this, let me know, right? I'm really passionate about this type of stuff, and I want to talk to you guys about this stuff. And if this is like helping you in any way, please let me know as well, right? So I know to create more stuff like this for you guys, do more lives like this, okay? So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.